In the world of plating, there's one layout that screams precision, elegance, and confidence. It's the linear layout. But here's the thing, it's not easy to master. Welcome back to the second video in the series about plating layouts every chef or home cook should know. In the last one, we explored the condensed layout, where grouping elements tightly together creates harmony and warmth. Today, I'm going to be diving into something completely different, the linear layout, where dynamism, flow, and precision take centre stage. Plating has always been a part of my world. Over the past decade as a food photographer, I've worked with some of the UK's most talented chefs, capturing their dishes where the design is just as impressive as the flavour. Through that journey, I've learned what works, what doesn't, and how layouts like the linear style can elevate a dish from great to unforgettable. In this video, I'm going to break down what makes the linear layout so special, how to avoid common mistakes, and the steps to master it. By the end, you'll know if this is the right layout for your next dish, and how to execute it like a pro. So let's get started. The linear plating layout is all about arranging components in a straight line or a gentle curve across the plate. This style emphasises apparent simplicity and clean lines, creating a visual flow that guides the diner's eye from one element to the next. It's not just about looks though. The linear layout allows each component to stand out individually, making it perfect for showcasing precise techniques or high quality ingredients. Unlike the condensed or stacked layouts, where a chef has a degree of control over how the diner interacts with the food, essentially guiding them to eat everything together, the linear layout gives much more freedom to the diner. Apart from the subtle hints in the composition that might suggest an eating order, the diner can choose to eat each component in whatever order they like. This freedom means that each element must stand up on its own, both visually and in taste. Each piece of the dish should be the very best it can be, as the chef has less control over how the flavours are experienced. This added layer of complexity means that the linear layout is particularly challenging, but also rewarding. When executed well, it celebrates the individuality of the components while still pressing a cohesive and elegant dish. For me, this style has a reputation for being much less approachable. It's strongly associated with high-end fine dining and is something I see less of both in my professional life and when I go out to eat. Even on social media, it doesn't seem to be as common as some of the other layouts, which makes it feel exclusive and perhaps less inviting to many. But that exclusivity is also part of its appeal. Its layout can demand skill and practice, but when done right, it's arguably the most visually stunning and technically impressive plating style there is. And for that reason, I don't think it's going out of style anytime soon, nor should it. The magic of the linear layout lies in its ability to create flow and motion. The carefully arranged components guide the diner's eye in a natural and intuitive way. Whether you use straight lines for structure or a gentle curve for fluidity, the result is a plate that feels dynamic and refined. This layout also emphasises precision. Every element is on display. There's no hiding place behind layers or sauces, so your plating must be exact. Even a slight misalignment can throw off the balance and make a dish feel sloppy. This is why I often say that the linear layout is not for the faint-hearted. For less experienced platists, this style can be especially tricky. It requires practice, or at least some solid planning before you start. If you're attempting this style, I'd strongly recommend sketching out your design first. A sketch will help you lay out the composition, scale, and hierarchy, so you can approximate the layout before the plating process even begins. When executed well, the linear layout highlights each component, making it clear that every component deserves its place on the plate. It's a layout that celebrates the craft of cooking and plating, and it allows you to create a dish that feels intentional and artistic. But here's the big question, how precise is your plating? Whether you're building the confidence to try linear layouts or refining your current technique, my free Plate Like a Pro checklist is here to help. It's packed with practical tips to improve your plating, and you can download it from the link in the description below. Now, if it helps you to create something amazing, let me know in the comments. And don't forget, liking or subscribing helps the YouTube algorithm to recommend this to other platists just like you and me. Thanks so much. To master the linear layout, focus on precision, flow, and balance. Here are some tips to get it right. Negative space is a key feature of the linear layout. By leaving areas of the plate empty, you create a sense of balance and elegance that draws attention to the plated components. However, too much negative space can make the plate feel sparse, so aim for a balanced composition that feels intentional and complete. Whether you use symmetry for structure or asymmetry for a more dynamic feel, make sure your choice supports the story of a dish. Symmetry conveys order and refinement, while asymmetry adds energy and movement. Both approaches can work beautifully, so choose the one that best suits the ingredients and mood of your dish. The arrangement should guide the diner's eye in a smooth, natural motion. Straight lines are the classic choice, but curves and diagonals can add a sense of fluidity and elegance. The goal is to create a visual journey that feels effortless and intentional. Precision is critical to the linear layout. Every component should be placed with care, using tools like tweezers or piping bags if necessary. Misaligned elements can break the flow and make the plate feel rushed, so take your time and get it right. Now, the linear layout may look simple, but it can easily go wrong. Here are some common mistakes to watch out for. Without careful planning, the plate can look disorganised. Make sure the arrangement supports a clear visual path from one element to the next. Negative space is so powerful, but too much of it can leave the plate feeling empty or unfinished. Strive for a balance by using negative space to frame the component without overpowering them. In a layout that relies so heavily on precision, even small misalignments can disrupt the overall design. Take the time to ensure that every component is perfectly positioned. The linear plating layout is a true test of skill, demanding precision, creativity, and control. While it's not necessarily the most approachable style, especially for beginners, it remains one of the most visually stunning and technically impressive layouts in plating. Its clean lines, elegant flows elevate even the simplest ingredients, turning a plate into a work of art. What sets the linear layout apart is its freedom it can give the diners. With condensed or stacked layouts, the chef maintains some control over how the elements are experienced, forcing them to be eaten together by the nature of its design. But with a linear plating, the diner can interact with the dish however they choose. This means that every element must stand up on its own in terms of aesthetics and taste. The chef has to ensure that each component is at the very best it can be, because the diner might eat the elements in an order you didn't anticipate. This makes the linear layout as much about technical perfection as it is about a creative composition. So should you use this layout in your next dish? If you're ready to challenge yourself and to create a plate that is refined as it is dynamic, the answer might just be yes. While the linear layout requires plating and precision, it offers a unique opportunity to showcase your skills, guide the diner's eye, and to create a dish where every element shines on its own. If you're enjoying the series, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next one. In the next video, I'm going to be exploring the isolated layout, a completely different style where every component stands alone in its own space. Could that be the best layout for your next dish? Well, if you're interested to find out, click on the video here once it's released.